Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for the final conclusion to my journey to the #1 float dragon lore in existence. For many years, I have tried and failed at great time and expense to create the rank #1 lowest float of this legendary skin. In 2024, I have been dedicating the most time and the most money I ever have chasing any skin that I've ever chased. After having to craft the majority of these M4A1S Knights myself due to scarcity, we currently stand at a 90% chance to hit it. Well, at least that's how we ended part 2 of the journey. However, since then, foolishly, in a recent video, I could not help myself, and I used one of the higher float knights in a 5% contract. Unsurprisingly, this was a huge waste of a $10,000 skin, and the 1 in 20 odds did not come through. This actually leaves us with an 80% chance at the #1 dragon lore instead of what we finished with, which was a 90%. In this video, it is time to attempt to boost our odds from an 80% back up. To do this, I've been preparing. I sent my fellow YouTuber, Tech Savvy Scientist, $5,000 and instructed him to return as many low float mil-specs from the cobblestone collection as he possibly could. This required gathering low float industrial skins and throwing them in trade-ups for low odds at hitting the cobblestone collection mil-spec. He did fantastically, and the video will be on his channel of him attempting all of these cobblestone mil-specs. Big shout out to Tech Savvy for doing this for me, by the way. I'll leave his details and the video down below in the description. Spoiler alert, he managed to return 29 mil-specs to me. It's my job to take these mil-specs, try and turn them into low float chalices. Final attempt at some chalices. Thank you so much, Tech Savvy. Without you, attempting a lot of these wouldn't be possible. He's informed me the most optimized way to do these trade ups is basically having 2 items in from the cobblestone collection mixed with 8 fillers. This gives us a 16.67% chance at a usable chalice. We could also hit the Desert Eagle hand cannon, which is of course float capped, so unusable. I have been doing a bunch of these contracts off camera, and amazingly I managed to hit one of these chalices recently. However, there were a hell of a lot of fails included in that. I'm joined by my lucky cat, and that is a great sign. We have 15 contracts, which means 15 chances at usable chalices. Contract #1 of 15. Let's go. Oh, fail. As a little reminder, I gave Tech Savvy $5,000 to make all of these inputs for me, and he did great. He did really good. I got a lot more inputs than I would if I were buying them off the market for that money. Here goes nothing. Attempt number 2, 16% chalice. Oh, fail. Number 3, show me that cobblestone collection. Oh, fail. Number 4, we need some luck, Kitty. Come on, let's go. Let's see the cobblestone. Oh no, we see the cobblestone. Wrong item, I guess. You get what you wish for, right? Very nice float hand cannon, but not a chalice. There's a very real possibility that we could get absolutely no chalices through all of these items. It's so hard to make these chalices in the first place, which makes my 9 knights so far just absolutely mind-blowing. Chalice time. We gotta start seeing some chalices. Come on, Gaben. Lego. Is the 0 out of 15 about to happen? I don't want to curse it. Even if that does happen, we can still try and work with what we got. Chalice time. Oh no, second hand cannon. It's time for our first chalice so far. Show us it. And again. So much work went into getting all of these 30 cobblestone items. They all had to be traded up too. Are we going to burn through absolutely all that money and all that work in a split second for absolutely nothing? Maybe. Gaben, please show me a chalice. Just one singular chalice. from all of these 15 crazy expensive contracts. Let's go. We only have 3 contracts remaining. Not looking great, ladies and gentlemen. It really is not looking fantastic. Let's go, Chalice. Hey! Finally, we actually hit 1. We hit 1. Amazing. I don't think it's the best float yet because I ran out of really, really low float items to put in, but this is usable. And our very last contract. Can we squeeze out another cheeky Chalice right at the end? Let's find out. We got 1. We got 1 out of 15, and the float is not even that great. There's been a lot of pain on this journey so far, and this was painful. That night, no pun intended, I was very frustrated after the failure of all of these mil-specs only hitting 1 single Chalice. So I decided to use one of my higher float Chalices and whack it in a 10% trade up for a low float Knight. This is what happened. Yup, MP9 Wild Lily in low float. I'm not arguing with that one too much. I think that's a pretty decent outcome. Obviously, it can't be used in our journey whatsoever. But when I was looking back at the footage, I realized I didn't even throw the Chalice into the contract. I had completely left it out by mistake. So it was time to actually put it into a contract this time for another 10% at a low float Knight, and boom. Magically, the 10% had come through, creating a really, really nice low float Knight that is usable in this journey, somehow forgiving my mistakes of throwing the other Knight into a 5% and replenishing my stock of Knights with a brand new, even lower float, fresh Knight. Despite spending probably around the 6-figure mark on all of these videos in total in this entire journey attempting to create the #1 Dragon Lore, I don't have a sponsor for this video. The reason being, I'd like to mention something else to all of you, something I hold pretty close to my heart. My girlfriend of the last 5 years, whom I'm sure you've seen in many of my videos, she has been working extremely hard lately, pouring her heart and soul into her first ever startup business. She's put every ounce of money she has in this whole world into this thing, and it was kind of my idea. At first, I caught her doodling designs in her spare time, and I really liked what I saw. So I encouraged her to combine her love for art and her love for fashion, and to try and start something on her own. I've seen every single aspect of her journey from the very, very beginning, from not believing it could ever work to the amazing state that it's in today. Introducing Daiz. She sells pretty dope t-shirts, sweaters, and hoodies, some of which you'll probably have already seen me wear a bunch in my videos anyway. I'm never gonna have any merch whatsoever, so this is kind of the closest thing you can get to it. However, this is so much more than just merch. This is an entire clothing brand with hopefully a bright future ahead of it. If you're interested in checking out what she has created and is selling to the world, I'll leave it down below in the description. DaizClothing.com. If any of you like the clothes, purchasing them will literally mean the world to her and will mean a hell of a lot to me as well. That's all I wanted to mention. Let's continue on our journey. Everybody in the comments from the last part of this journey was saying, now that you've got a 90%, you gotta make it a 100%. You've come this far, you cannot possibly risk it. The chances of that 10% coming through and ruining absolutely everything, a lot of you seem to be very opposed to it. So I put together a very, very special contract. And I was joined by my friend Tradeup, and we made a deal together. A shot at another Knight for a 100% was on the table. Here's how it went. Yo, yo. Firstly, happy birthday.
Thank you already. Those wishes were very nice, bro.
I'm happy you hit that wild lily on your birthday. That's awesome.
You don't know, my hand when clicking the button was like really shaking. And like from now on, I made a vow I am never, ever doing like a contract, expensive one, or like gambling on my like a special day ever again.
It could ruin it all, right? I haven't told my audience the deal.
You can explain it because with my broken English, some people might not understand.
So you have very, very kindly provided me 2 inputs from the St. Mark collection in quad 0 format. That is because your ultimate dream and #1 skin ever of all time, if I'm not mistaken, is the MP9 Wild Lily.
Yes, it is in fact a skin that I've always wanted to go for, but I am not a multi-millionaire.
Well, it's your birthday today, and you hit that birthday contract for the #2,
Yes.
and that's incredible.
Yes, that's incredible. I was very happy. MP9 Wild Lily, yes!
Our deal is you provide these to me for free, and then if I hit the MP9 Wild Lily, I give that to you for free.
Yes, that's the deal. Basically, I'm giving you 2 fillers
Yep.
for free.
Yep.
But if you hit, at least one person is walking away with a smile.
Exactly. To be honest, if I hit that, I'm still walking away with a smile, because it's kind of like fate, because it's your birthday.
It is, but trust me, like, no matter what, as long as it's not the goddamn Franklin or the R8 revolver, I am so happy, bro. Like, I already got my birthday gift. I had an amazing time with my family, my audience, and everything.
Oh,
And now closing out the day with you.
I love to hear it. If we have a look at the #1s and the #2s and everything we're using for this, it's pretty crazy. We're using the #2 Emerald Pinstripe, using #5 Amber Fade, using #3 Emerald Pinstripe, using #4 Emerald Pinstripe, using the #1 Desert Eagle York Magnum,
I heard about that.
which is just absolutely ridiculous. Tech Savvy crafted this with 5 zeros and then 6666666. It's so sick. So if this gets deleted and we get like a P250 or
We won't.
yeah, okay. I'm not even gonna say that. The #2 Chalice, the
Crafted by
#2 Icarus Fell,
Also crafted by me.
the #3 Chalice, the #2 Midnight Lily,
That's
and
also by me.
the #2 Sea Kalika.
As well, my created. In case you couldn't tell, I love those like purple items. Like I love mil-spec contracts so much. Those are my favorite to do.
The outcomes, they're all #1s.
Wait, even R8 and P250?
I haven't checked those, and I don't want to check those. All right,
Okay, we don't check. We don't check. We don't
no,
check.
that's not gonna happen. 20% new Wild Lily, 5 zeros. 20%
Yeah.
new #1 Knight. That is the absolute ideal outcome for me, to be honest, because then I can whack it in the #1 Dlore Tradeup. I have 6 zeros. Yeah,
6-0,
yeah, that's
6-0-9.
disgusting. That's disgusting.
That's insane.
Also, #1 Poseidon. I could beat my own #1 Poseidon here. Yeah, but I wouldn't be too unhappy with it, you know. It's better than the terrible
Alright.
other thing. The last good outcome is the Negev Mjolnir, 5 zeros. So that's absolutely ridiculous.
Price-wise, that Mjolnir is unironically worth a lot. I don't know
Yeah,
if you realize that.
No, I know it's worth a lot. One of them's in already.
Wait, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you put the OG in slot 1 and the Calico in slot 6?
Just
because I
because it's
need to
your
make the
birthday.
Yeah,
Sure.
because my birthday is on 16th of November.
Yeah,
And I was
okay.
thinking to put it on 11. Like, I will just be honest, I am not a liar. I am just here screaming for the MP9.
Of
right?
course.
I
you
am
are.
just screaming for the MP9. But I assure you, no matter what, as long as it's a good outcome, I will be happy. And it has been an amazing birthday for me.
No.
And if you can walk away with a smile, that's also a smile in my book. But we know which outcome I prefer. Yeah, shout out to everyone watching, guys. Make sure to comment and like in advance, no matter what. I'm very thankful to be part of this journey. And I'm very happy with how far we've come. Could I have the honors? Please, not Sparkle's video.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely, yeah. I'm probably gonna cover my eyes for it because it's so scary. How much do you think this contract is, by the way?
The
It's
Deagle
gotta
is
be
worth like 4k.
Yeah.
The AUG is like 3k, so 4k, 3k. Then the Skull is like 2.5k out. No, like 2k. Then the Chalices are both 3k. And then each filler is like 1,000.
15 to
21k.
20k range, yeah, something like that.
Do you want me to do it in Polish?
Whatever brings the most luck, that is what we need right now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh my goodness, dude. Oh my goodness.
I just woke up my entire family.
That is pain.
I am so sorry for you, man.
I'm so sorry that you didn't hit the lily.
No. Me, it doesn't matter. I am so sorry for you, man.
It's #1 P250 Franklin.
It is #1?
It is. Yeah, we did it. We did it. A ginormous fail. So big. The #1 P250 Franklin. It could not have gone worse. So much money wasted. And it was back to the drawing board. The current #1 Dragonlore is quite legendary. It has the float of 00013374206.9. This is, of course, the ultimate meme skin. You can't really get a better, more memey float than that. And it took Frankfurter a very, very long time to get all of the inputs for and craft, and this was many, many years ago where it would have been considerably easier than nowadays. He has then sold this Dlore to one of the biggest Brazilian streamers in the whole scene. I can't really say his name correctly, but Cajoro? That is my attempt at it. Who I have been battling with in this journey. For those of you who don't remember, I tried to buy the old No.1 Knight before I created the new one for around $8,000, which was a very reasonable price, and he came along and offered double 16,000, and surprise, surprise, he got the Knight. He was basically throwing this much money at the Knight to try and stop me from crafting the new #1 Dragonlore, which makes perfect sense because he owns the #1 Dragonlore, and why would he want his to become #2? He said he would love to join me and be there at the time that I tried to create this #1, and I asked him, why would you want that? You're not going to be exactly there to cheer me on. Like, it might be a moment of sadness for you. And he said it's something historic. Having the opportunity to witness it is spectacular. So big shout out to him for being so humble and just wanting to watch a historic event despite it possibly creating him some financial loss. I said, unfortunately, I think our timings are going to be a bit off, so I'm not sure you can be there. However, the #1 Knight that I created, I will not register on the database. I'm just going to delete it in the contract. So whatever happens, your #1 Knight stays your #1 Knight. He said, good luck, bro. Thank you for not registering the real #1 Knight. You, above all, are a nice person. Despite these little skin battles I inevitably end up having with people when I'm trying to craft new #1s, he's shown his true colors, and his support for me, despite what I'm trying to do, is insane. So big love to him. Before finalizing this insane contract, I saw this clip from Oni.
I think the new #1 will be not as a nice #1. Why? And I kinda hate Sparkles for doing this, but I told him this already, but I also respect it, of course. But look at this #1, the current #1 AWP Dragonlore. The float is 0.0001337 420 69. I hope Sparkles just doesn't do random float. Would be nice if at least a 69 or something.
This inspired me to try and put even more effort and even more expense into this journey by creating a special float #1 Dragonlore. I got talking to Tech Savvy to discuss the art of the possible, what we could create, what we couldn't create, and after a couple of hours or so in a call together, we broke down the math and came up with the creation of a skin that could possibly lead us to create a 0.00011111111 Dragonlore. This would be absolutely unreal. It wouldn't be easy. We'd have to craft the specific skin that we needed down the chain and then work our way up the chain. Then, if we even managed to hit it, in the final contract, this would mean we had to input the M4A1S blue phosphor as the 10%, which would mean we'd have a 10%, I don't even want to say it, a 10% shot at the AWP fade. It would be so bad. It would be so bad if we hit that. But during our call, we really dove deep down the CS float tunnel and came up with 2 contracts. One a 60% and one a 30%. Both an emerald pinstripe, which if we managed to hit it, we could use that in a restricted contract that would give us a 20% at an M4A1S Knight with the correct float to then put in to the 90% Dragonlore contract to give us that 111111 special float Dragonlore. Firstly, I attempted the 30%. Fail. Yes, we hit the amber fade instead of the emerald pinstripe. Big rip, but all hope was not lost. I then attempted the 60% emerald pinstripe contract. Fail. Chance had screwed us, and it was well and truly back to the drawing board. This time, we calculated 2 more contracts. One to once again give us the emerald pinstripe needed for that 111111 number 1 float Dragonlore, which would still be a 20% at the night, and then a special backup float contract. This would give us a 70% at an emerald pinstripe usable that we could chuck into a 40% for a night that would give us the correct float at a 90% Dragonlore with the float 00001234567. However, failing either of these 2 contracts still meant that we'd have a 90% at the number 1 Dragonlore. However, it wouldn't be in special float, but if these 2 fail, then it just wasn't to be, and we'll still attempt it anyway. So I gathered all the skins needed for that suitable float emerald pinstripe to create the knight that creates the 111111 Dragonlore, and we hit it. 20% shot at that knight is now possible. Now it was time to create the emerald pinstripe with a specific float to create the specific float knight that would create the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Dragonlore. And once again, we smashed it. Not only did we have a 20% at the knight to create the 1111, we also now had a 40% to create the knight of the 1, 2, 3, 4. The final 2 pieces of the puzzle have now been unlocked. It's time to attempt our custom contracts. This is the 20% at the knight with the perfect float for the 1111 Dragonlore. We've also got a whole bunch of options in here. We have the Poseidon. It won't be the number 1 because I already hit the number 1. And this hydroponic won't be the number 1 hydroponic because I already hit that too. But we have 30% and some very, very scary, terrible options. Final item going into this contract. The one that we took a long time crafting, failed at many times, and boom, there it is. 20% at a night with a low enough float that's usable for the 111111 number 1 Dragonlore. These skins, for reference, they are not cheap. This is the number 1 Daybreak, for example. This alone cost $3,000, and all of the other skins you see in here are also pretty much thousands of dollars. Insane contract. 30% for absolute garbage. 20% Nega Moldium. 10% AK-47 Hydroponic. 20% Poseidon. 20% Knight. If we hit this 20% Knight, we got a shot at that special float. We will try our absolute best to make it happen. My heart's beating out of my chest right now, and we haven't even got to the final contract. This is absolutely insane. An entire year of work. So much time, effort, expense, calculations, everything. Let's try this 20%. Count it down with me, ladies and gentlemen. 3, 2, 1. M4A1S Knight! Oh! No way! No way! No way did we just hit that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You know what this means? You know what this means, guys. You know what this means. We have to use the blue phosphor. It means the final contract's ready to go, and we have to use the blue phosphor for a 10%. Oh my goodness. We need to check the night. We need to make sure it is the correct float. There it is. 6, 7, 7, 7, 7, 9. Okay. Okay. Shit just got real. This alone is insanity. Ooh, I can't register this on the database because this is actually technically now the new #1 float knight. So I actually have the #1 and the #2. If I registered both of them on the database, poor Cajoro, his knight would be knocked down to a #3 instead of a #1. This is absolute insanity. I cannot believe that we just hit that 20%. It leaves one final contract remaining, and you guys know what that contract is. No more messing about with chalices. No more messing about with mil-specs, Dark Ages, P2000 chainmails. One final step remains, which means we gotta pull this guy out of storage. Oh dear. Oh dear. Come on then, get out of there. I had already done all the math and all the calculations for most likely failing this 20% contract. Look, I've already got the other 40% one, all calculated, all ready to go with the correct float with the night and everything, but we don't need it. Instead, this is what the contract is going to look like. 90% at a Dragonlore with 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4 float. 10% at an AWP fade with terrible float. This is crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're enjoying this journey so far, please smash that like button. Near enough $100,000 is about to be risked. All on the line to make history. I need to check the specific float of these knights so incredibly closely. First knight into the contract. Second knight, the 20% we just hit and calculated perfectly, into the contract. Final item into the contract. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. The #1 Dragonlore. The contract I have spent 1 year or so leading up to this point. I just want to remind everyone that this was not done for financial gain. Whatever comes out of this contract will be at great financial loss, even if it is the outcome that we want. This isn't about money. This is about legacy. This is about legend. This is about success in the face of defeat. Being mad enough to do the thing that so many people said was not possible and proving all of them wrong. If I were to hit this, this will be my greatest gaming achievement ever. Sure, unboxing a souvenir Dragonlore, that was amazing. Sure, unboxing the lowest float stat track item in the entire world with 1 in a billion chance, that was amazing. But this is so much more than those. Those were events of pure luck, pure chance. This is something different. This has been a journey with struggle, failure, frustration, expense, having to stand back up so many times after getting brutally beaten down. But today is the day we complete our journey and arrive at its final destination. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me on this. It's time. It's time. 90% #1 Dragonlore. 10% #1 AWP fade. Count it down with me. 10. I'm gonna have to cover my eyes for it as well. 9. 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Remember, always chase your dreams, no matter how hard they are. Let's go! Yes! Let's go! Let's go! I'm sorry, ET. I am so sorry. Oh my goodness, boys. We have to check the float. We have to check it. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. We did it. We did it. We did it. Ladies and gentlemen, the new #1 Dragonlore. I want to say a huge shout out to absolutely everybody involved in this journey. I want to name everyone, but there's so many people I would forget. This is an absolutely historic moment. I never thought I'd cry over a CS skin, but we did it. We did it. I know a lot of you will be watching this just before Christmas, so I hope you have the absolute best Christmas. Remember what's important: friends, family, loved ones. You guys are absolutely incredible, and I did this for you as much as I did this for me. I could not be happier with how this turned out, and I hope this shows the world that Counter-Strike is more than just a game to some of us. I love our community, and I'm so privileged and proud to be in the position that I'm in, and it's all because of you guys. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your likes. And I hope everybody watching this has an amazing Christmas and an even better New Year. It's finally time for me to take my rightful place in this museum display in the very center. The #1 Orb Dragon. I hope all of you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.